Hello, dear viewers. Praise the Lord. I hope that everybody of you is safe and sound at your home. Before I start today's session, I would request you, if you are new to my channel, kindly subscribe it and also press the bell icon button so that you can be getting the new notification about it as well. Many of my friends and the colleagues have also mentioned to me that you are not going to get that much support for this topic and this channel at all, like people do react happily and instantly to the beauty channels or to the cooking channel or to the other exercises channel and all that. But I believe that, of course, change doesn't take overnight. It is a long, slow process. So definitely, when the people who will be really interested in what I am doing and who are the teachers and who are directly teaching the students in schools and who are thinking to join this holy profession, of course, my sessions are really going to be touching their hearts, and especially my students for whom actually I have started this, that they enjoy their learning, they would be and are actually the great support to me. So thank you very much to all of you. And let's start today's session. And that is very, very important. Somebody has rightly said that 100 miles journey begins with a single step. And that single step is actually always the first day at your school. Many of you would always now remember very vividly your first day of the school, when there is a great confusion, when students are really upset and at times very excited and at times confused. Who is going to be teaching you? What will the teachers do? Who is the new teacher? And what will be there in the new year? So students enter their class the very first day with all these questions popping into their minds. And that day is really very important day for them, and if that day goes happily, the rest of the year they will also remain happy and active. So therefore it is very, very important, dear teachers, to start that first day very happily and excitedly with the students. So I have certain suggestions, few things that we can do on the very first day, or rather the first few days of the new year, with our children, to do the rest of the year pass happily and successfully with them without much stress. So if you agree to it, you can always be telling me in the comment box. And now all those who are teachers can keep a pen and the copy with you and can jot down those important steps, which I always do with my classes. So usually the first few days of the academic years are going to be the orientation days, I call them. And once the teacher enters the class and it simply says, अस्सलाम वालेकुम और गुड मॉर्निंग स्टूडेंट्स, कैसे हैं आप? चलें निकालें अपनी किताबें और ये पेज खोलें और हम ये रीडिंग करेंगे, और बड़ा अच्छा बोर्ड पे सारा कुछ लिखा, लेक्चर हुआ। लेकिन वो जो बच्चे आपके सामने इतने ज़्यादा क्वेश्चंस और कंफ्यूजन्स और फियर्स के साथ आए थे, बैठे थे, उनके साथ आपने कोई इंटरेक्शन नहीं किया। तो जस्ट इमेजिन योर फर्स्ट डे व्हेन यू would have entered your new class with the new books, new bags, and the new teacher to come in front of you. And how did you feel? I always say it's good to keep ourselves at our students' place to imagine and to understand their state of mind as well. So it's very, very important that the few days are spent as the orientation days with our students. And what are the teachers supposed to be doing in those days? They have to be properly planned. It's not only the gupshup session, but it's going to be the personality knowing session with the children. You know, we have two categories of the teachers going to the class teacher and the subject teachers. So there are certain points that all the teachers need to be following, and there are some which only the class teachers, those who need to spend more time with the children, dealing with their problems and listening to their issues on the daily basis, they will be more in touch with the students. So separately we'll be now discussing first of all, the similar points that all the subject teachers and the class teachers are going to follow and to start their year in a fantastic way. So as you enter the class, it's very, very important to first introduce yourself. Despite even if the students know you, they would only know you by name. Introducing yourself means, I am Mrs. Noreen Shafiq. I am here to teach you English, and I am really very happy and excited to be with you, dear students. And I expect all of you to be very much regular, to be active, to be involved in the lectures. And I am really looking forward to work with you happily, because I believe that you are all sitting here in front of me very genius and very talented children. So this is how, when the teacher is going to give those positive vibration to the students, all of them sitting in the class, they are mixed ability students sitting there. Some would be very intelligent, some would be mediocre, some would be maybe just promoted on trial. So but when everybody is going to listen to such positive strong words about them, just imagine how good they will feel. And when you feel good at some place, you definitely are ready and eager to know what is going to happen with you in future. So it's very, very important for the teacher to start the day by introducing her, and then also sharing her expectations with the children, and especially the aims and objectives of her teaching. It's very important to be sharing your aims and objectives of teaching with your students. Like, what do I do? If I give you my example, I am an English teacher, and whenever I enter the class, especially in the first few days of the academic year, I always tell them that my general aims that I would like to see my students achieving at the end of the whole year would be to see them fluent at English, to have the complete understanding of what I'll be teaching, to be confident in the presentation skills, and then to be the model of the moral practice, values that will be practiced there in the class, and to be helping each other to remain positive, and to be very much neat and tidy in their written work. So I share all these aims and objectives with them, that I have entered to your class and I will be definitely working to achieve all these aims, general aims, at the end of the year. So teachers need to be giving time to the children on the very first day to introduce their selves as well. और ये बहुत ज़रूरी है। मुझे पता है आप में से बहुत से कहेंगे कि फिर हम सिलेबस कब ख़त्म करेंगे, फिर हम पढ़ाएंगे कब। लेकिन थोड़ी देर के लिए मैं सोचिए कि अगर शुरू के 2-3 दिन आप बच्चों को जानने में गुजार देते हैं, उनके साथ हेल्दी इंटरेक्शन करते हैं, एक हेल्दी कॉन्फिडेंट रिलेशन उनके साथ डेवलप कर लेते हैं, तो फिर सारा साल आपको डिसिप्लिन प्रॉब्लम ख़ास तौर पे नहीं आएगा, और आप बच्चों को बेहतर तरीके से समझ सकेंगे, और वो भी आपको और आपके मिजाज को समझते होंगे, और उसी तरह से फिर आपके साथ रिएक्ट करेंगे और कोऑपरेट भी करेंगे. सो इट्स वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू एनकरेज चिल्ड्रन टू introduce themselves and to tell about themselves. Like, you can be asking, or you can be writing 3-4 points on the board that I want you to tell me your name, and then your fears for this new class, or what are you expecting from me as your class teacher or as your subject teacher, and then maybe what is your favorite thing with subject, or what is your favorite color, or something like 4 to 5 questions. If you just write on the board for the children, and then ask and encourage each of them to be answering them, so they will get confidence on the very first day to be interacting with their teacher. So the first point is that the teacher need to introduce herself and to share her expectations and aims and objectives of the whole year to be achieved at the end of the year with the children. And then second point is to also encourage children to introduce themselves to the teacher and to each other. All right. And then the next very important thing is to be sharing the class rules and regulation with the students. You can be doing that together with the help of the children they are sitting, instead of just imposing yourself as a teacher on the children all the time. So with consultation, you can be asking children to get into groups of 4s, and then you can be asking them to make the rules for the class. and then the groups can be sharing, and then at the end, with the help of the children responses, the teacher can be then finalizing the rules for the class that can be respectful to each other, no matter whatever grades, whatever academic performance we have, but each child in my class is going to be respectful for each other, be encouraging to each other, be happy, be regular, wait for your turn, always raise your hand, go out with the teacher's permission. And you know better than me that what kind of rules, practical rules, I always say, that can be easily practiced by the students, and they won't feel much stressed to be following them if we make those rules there in the class, and not to then forget them, but to be reminding and revising them on and off with the students. So it's very important to set those rules and regulations in the start of the year. Third very important thing is that to share with the children the outline of the syllabus that you are going to do with the children, to be telling them, explaining them that what sort of paper pattern would be there at the end. Like I teach the board classes, so I always explain them in English and in Park Studies the paper pattern and the marks allotted to all the different questions there, and then the whole outline of my syllabus and my content of the whole book to them, so that children are already prepared that throughout the year उन्होंने क्या क्या करना है, और उनको पता चलता रहेगा कि आपने एक टॉपिक अभी किया है तो अभी और कितना है जिसमें उनको अभी सीरियस होना है, और नॉन सीरियस होने का उनके पास वक्त नहीं है। और अगर आप ये कहें कि आपके सामने 48 की क्लास बैठी है और उसमें से अगर फ़र्ज़ करें 3-4 बच्चे जो हैं वो नॉन सीरियस हैं, वो प्रॉब्लमैटिक हैं, तो ऐसा तो हर जगह होता है, नोबडी इज़ गोइंग टू बी परफेक्ट। उन 3-4 की वजह से वी डोंट हैव टू लूज़ आवर एनर्जी, एंड वी हैव टू रियली बी prepared when we are there entering the class. So believe me, when you start your the session with all these important steps, it's really going to be far better session than ever before you have been doing. So the last thing we discussed was, the recent last thing was to be setting the rules and regulation. And then another very important point is to be dividing children into the different mixed abilities groups, and then to be assigning duties to them, and those duties should be assigned regardless of whatever grades they are achieving. Usually what do the children do? The captains of the previous 4-5 years are the captains again, and then the same toppers in the class are going to do everything, and finally they become bully in the class, which is really very very difficult to be controlled afterwards. So कहीं ना कहीं टीचर्स भी उस बुली एक जो बिहेवियर आ रहा होता है बच्चों का, उसके लिए ज़िम्मेदार होती हैं। तो इट्स वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि जब आप ड्यूटीज़ असाइन कर रहे हैं, जैसे ब्लैक बोर्ड साफ़ करना है, कॉपीज स्टाफ रूम में छोड़नी है, ले के आनी है, और कीज़ का ध्यान रखना है, जाते हुए लाइट्स ऑफ करनी है, ये छोटी छोटी अगर हम जिम्मेदारियाँ मिक्स एबिलिटीज़ ग्रुप को देते हैं, डिफरेंट बच्चों को देते हैं, ऑन वीकली बेसिस देते हैं, लुकिंग एट देयर परफॉर्मेंस in the class, हम उनको different जिम्मेदारियां देते हैं as an incentive to them, तो it really goes very well. So आप क्योंकि अभी बच्चों को इतना नहीं जानते हैं, तो first day आप randomly जब different duties देते हैं, and afterwards when you start knowing them, you can be just switching them over from students to students. So it's very important to be giving those responsibilities to the students as well. So with that, my dear teachers, when you are going to start your academic year in the first 2-3 days, believe me, it's really going to be a wonderful year ahead. And now after vacation, many of you are going to start the new year. So it's good not to be very first day just asking children take out the book and start reading and all that. At least first 1 or 2 days you will be spending with them and just discussing all these things with them, and just see if not everybody in the class, but majority will be there very much excited to work with you. So I believe that this session will really be helping you out to start your new year excitedly and happily by yourself and with your students as well. So God bless you all. थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर बीइंग पेशेंट एंड लिसनिंग टू मी। आई होप आप एंड तक मेरी वीडियो ज़रूर सुनेंगे, और जब आप छुट्टियों के बाद स्कूल जाएंगे तो आई एम श्योर यू विल ट्राई टू इम्प्लीमेंट सम ऑफ दीज पॉइंट्स with your students, and then we'll see what will be the effect of them. So till my next video, thank you very much. Take great care of yourself. God bless you all. Thank you.